Been here since this morning.
Swap out with you.
Yeah. All right, you can start whenever you're ready, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for two things. One, thank you for beginning the process this afternoon of giving witnesses $30 million. And thank you, Senators. And thank you, Senators, for your patience with all of us in higher ed today. You've been very steadfast in your questions. My name is Brian McCall. I'm Chancellor of the Texas State University System, the oldest and third largest university system in Texas, founded in 1911. You've just heard amazing testimony about saving lives. And while we educate physicians who do save lives, our mission is to change lives, and change lives is what we're doing. A large percentage of our students are first-generation college students. And I believe it's immoral to admit them into our institutions and just hold the door open for them and say good luck. Instead, we need to be with them every step of the way to make sure that with debt, if they have debt, they get through the process, graduate. Their lives are changed. If they graduate as a first-generation college student, they will marry, most likely, a college graduate. Their kids will be college graduates. It's transformative for Texas. We're changing lives. So thank you for the opportunity to speak with you about this. I stop strangers on the street and try to talk to them about it. So if I can speak to the Senate Finance Committee, you know that I'm high as a kite to do so. I often speak to fellow chancellors around the nation who are envious of what you have done in this state over the last several sessions. It's important, the stance that Texas has taken for higher ed, and thank you for that leadership. With your support, we've been able to prioritize access, affordability, excellence, and efficiency. And while our enrollment since the current management has taken place in 2010 has increased 32%, more importantly, we have increased the degrees awarded during that same period by over 50%. Minority enrollment in that period is up 90%, and workforce training in that period is up 185%. Our system continues to lead the state in online learning. The students that we educate come from every corner of this state and all walks of life. Degrees awarded to low-income students in the STEM fields in our system are both up over 100% in the past decade. Degrees awarded to Hispanic and African American students have increased approximately 167% and 136% respectively during this period. We've lowered administrative costs. We have shared services amongst our institution. What does that mean? Well, that means that we decided we don't need in the system office HR and payroll and financial reporting and accounts payable and risk management on many of our campuses, most of our campuses. And so as a result, Sam Houston does the payroll and the human resources for the system office and for Sul Ross State. We work together, system to system, college to college, university to university, to see which university can do what best and provide that service to the other universities in the system, saving a lot of money. We've refinanced debt and saved over $100 million. More than 75% of our students receive financial aid, and 55% of our students graduate with no debt. Of those who do graduate with debt, the average debt is less than a used Toyota, about $20,000. Our institutions are key partners in every facet of building a talent-strong Texas, from workforce training and welding, process technology, truck driving, to high-value credentials in nursing, teacher education, engineering, and business. We're the only system that you can get certificates and training in welding or a medical degree. We run the full gamut. We're grateful for the support, the generous support you gave us in the 88th legislature, specifically the increase in formula rates to our universities and state colleges, addressing the Hazelwood shortfall in state funding, and for the Sam Houston College of Medicine and the creation of the Texas University Fund. Our remaining legislative priorities are similar to those in the past and straightforward. Formula funding is the cornerstone of how we receive that support. And that goes back to my conversations with other chancellors around the nation who are envious of the fact that we have a predictable revenue source in the state of Texas. We would ask you to fund in that enrollment growth and inflation. We next year will be 100,000 students, 15,000 faculty and staff, growing at a good clip, doing things the right way, getting good results. We can only do it with your continued help. You have been most gracious to us, and we look forward to working with you to examine how the state can allocate these resources best for the Texas State University system. We have one specific ask for Texas State University system, something that we began talking to some of you about last session. We've been working on for some time. It would be so meaningful to us. You heard testimony from Chancellor J.B. Milliken that they have implemented priority funding for those families in Texas with $100,000 in income or less. It's very important to us with our large percentage of first-generation college students to do something similar. Currently, we are doing it at most of our universities, but it's at the level of $40,000 for two of our universities, $50,000 for one of our universities, and at Sul Ross, it's at $85,000. We would like to get to the $100,000 level, which would cost you $15 million. We appreciate your consideration of that. We're doing what we can to make Texas better, and we work so well as a team with you, and we're grateful for that privilege. Be happy to answer any easy questions.
Senator Zaffirini, you got some easy ones for him?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Chancellor, on page 1 of your handout, your fifth bullet, you say your total semester credit hours were fully online and were up 734% since 2010. Could you compare the costs and the level of state funding for your online courses versus your in-person courses?
Senator, it's very important to me that I don't tell you something that I can't corroborate, and I can't do that, but I can do that within 24 hours, if that's okay. 34% of our courses are online, and it is getting cheaper as we go along, but it is still not a great differential, is my memory.
Do you have figures regarding the success rate of the students in online versus in-person?
We do.
Could you get those two, please?
Yes, and the success rate is very high, particularly amongst graduate students. But yes, we can get both.
You've heard me throughout the day ask questions about the classification of universities, research universities, emerging research universities, et cetera, based on the coordinating board criteria. Not AAU, not Carnegie, I'm talking about coordinating board. Texas State University had been classified as a doctoral institution for so long, and because of your leadership, it was reclassified, justifiably so, as an emerging research university, something that should have happened years ago. Now, recently, I believe it was UTEP, also was reclassified from an emerging research university, now will qualify as a research university, based on the coordinating board standards. What difference did it make for you financially to have that reclassification?
Well, you generously gave me credit for that without giving yourself credit for that. You played an integral role in making that happen, Senator, for which we're grateful. Texas State University will be meeting all the criterion to be reclassified as an R1 research institution by 2027, based on doctoral degrees awarded, based on the quality of the library, based on a number of standards, the money that we have and spend in research. And so it's a marvelous program that the state of Texas put together. And as J.B. Milliken testified this morning, that will rise the boat for all ships. It will keep students in Texas, and the more R1 institutions, the better. For Texas State, it has been amazing. Texas State, for the second year in a row, is the most applied to university in Texas from high school students. It's not a coincidence that raising these standards and a president that's just an amazing human being with a great team has caused these things to happen. I don't believe in coincidences as much as cause and effect, and I attribute a lot of it to the reclassification of Texas State.
Wonderful. On page 2 of your handout, at the very bottom, the very last item, you have an item for alert training facility, $25 million. Could you expand on that and specifically what it would do statewide?
May I defer that to the president of the university, who will be
Certainly.
speaking in just a few moments, as he could give you a better, more complete, thorough, and thoughtful answer, I believe.
Certainly. Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Colcourse?
Thank you. Hi, Chancellor.
Senator,
Good to see you. My goodness, we served in the Texas House together, and
good to see you.
some good times. You mentioned, and I wasn't here because I went to see some constituents about the UT Chancellor and talking about the $100,000 income and below, and it's interesting the discussion of this student cliff that we're looking at. Are y'all looking at that and are concerned about that?
No. Yes, we're looking at it. No, we're not concerned about it.
Why?
Because all of our enrollment is up so dramatically at each of our schools. We have 50,000 applicants at Texas State alone. We admitted our largest class last year with 8,000 students. We're looking at up to 9,000 this time. 10% of the children in America are in Texas, and our particular university system is designed specifically and perfectly to catch those new students who are coming for the first time to the university. Also, we have, and I can't remember the exact number, but we have done a poor job and are interested and capable of and intend to do a better job of graduating those with some college who never graduated. There's a huge pool in this state of those who have never graduated that we can make through online an easy goal for them to accomplish. And it will change their families' lives in so doing. We've looked at the demographic data, and we see the cliff in other states. I know this is conflicting with testimony that you may have heard from another chancellor today, but for the students that we're shooting for the students that we are designed for, the cliff does not exist.
That's so interesting because you do, I mean, 50,000 for 8,000 slots. Those are incredible percentages. Mm-hmm. And so I look forward to having that conversation. I've heard it just a little bit today. It was kind of brought a little more to the forefront, but what that means for Texas, what I think it means for Texas is other states are going to be coming here and trying to steal our students.
Yes.
And that's whether it's Ole Miss. I remember them recruiting Lois Cade, and she's like, I think I'm going to make money if I go there. I mean, it's not just paying for my school; they're paying me a lot of money to go there, and so that was a long time ago. So we have to be cognizant of what they're doing and making sure that they don't come in and pick our pockets of some of our best and our brightest. But also, like you said, some of our universities, especially our regional universities, are targeting our first generation students, which can go on to do amazing things that are going to be generators to our economy, which is fast becoming the seventh largest in the world.
And Senator, we have a second type of student besides the university student. We have 3 two-year schools in our system, an Institute of Technology and 2 two-year schools that are teaching the welding, the dental hygiene, the truck driving, the welding, and they're on fire. We can't build fast enough. We can't train fast enough. The growth is amazing. The results are true, and their incomes and their families' lives are being changed so significantly, about which you'll hear more from our 2-year presidents.
Well, and I know I'm going to hear from them, but I also want to say, Madam Chair, and I know we're thinking about, or it's being considered, that we give an $850 million endowment to TSTC. Are we giving y'all that kind of endowment?
They already got it.
I've learned to stand on my own 2 knees, and I'm intending to do a lot of that in the next 128 or so days. Yes. We were part of it last session that failed. TSTC and the Lamars were together.
That's right.
And the thing failed. And so what is in the bill today, we're all for what TSTC is going to get, but we're doing the same work with great result that will compare against anyone in the United States, our results. And so we need to be part of that.
Well, and it's interesting, Madam Chair, too, as we talk about HB 8 and the transition with our community colleges, which are coming up very soon. They're doing a lot of this work. Of course, they have the academic thing. And my big deal is Doge, and don't duplicate efforts. Don't go on top of the Lamars in your area and duplicate efforts. I wasn't here for UTA, but I'm curious about how we're piling on in certain areas and what is the role of the Higher Education Coordinating Board going back to John Connolly's inception of it. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Okay, and I did want to say, because my staff just reminded me, so for your special item request for the $25 million for the new alert training center, that has been, the intent is to fund it, but in the supplemental bill, so it doesn't show up in the budget, but Dr. Bond and I had agreed, subject to the approval of the legislature, of course, but I feel like there's a lot of support for that.
Thank you very much,
So
Senator.
25, that was in the supplemental, I'd forgotten about it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's fantastic.
Great. All right.